Welcome back to the Skylanders Ultimate Soul Gem Locke. Attempt 3 went something like this, and after a quick reset and a few more where I had early deaths, this is now attempt 8. I found out the good place to stand during this laser section is in the back right corner because his lasers never attack you there. Check out this sick cutscene skip. If you just break the door as you walk forwards, then you don't have to listen to this jokester. Later on during the Chompy Mage fight, I had a fatal miscalculation and lost Drobot, which is quite a big blow. And later on, I continued to underestimate Grenade Generals, as they do that to me. In the Great Hall, I decided to use Ghost Roaster because he worked out so well last time, and I got stuck. And just moments later, an armor proc saves Lightning Rod's life, so quite a bit has gone on already. Here I have a giant because they allow me to pass by these barrel sections for free, which is great. Any way you can mitigate trap damage and any risk of getting hit during traps helps a lot. This arena afterwards goes quite well as Hex takes out the whole thing, and that wasn't even close, don't worry about it, Dino-Rang is alive. And the entirety of Drill X, including the boss fight, is no trouble at all. Some enemies really like to aim for Stump Smash's projectiles, which comes in pretty handy. But not if I can't set it up first. Here I actually deflected a grenade which would have flew way past me and instead made it land right in front of me. Fright Rider probably was not the play here. I ran right into that trap. Alright, I'm making an attempt to get Eyebrawl. It's going to be risky, but hopefully worth it. And Hot Dog takes damage, Sunburn gets ambushed right as I walk into this room. Hex tries to set up a bone wall and it just straight up fails. It retracts and lets them attack. So I decided to go with the Suicide Tree Rex to take out most of the enemies here to make it safer for Whamshell. Yeah, that's probably the last time I'm gonna go for Eyebrawl Soul Gem. Up ahead, I got a little hasty with these traps, but that is why I switched to Voodoo. And come on, what is this? Not again. At least the zaps are doable if I have the right Skylander alive. I mean, to be fair, Eyebrawl is quite good. He's able to distract enemies with the eyeballs and attack at a big range because it's only the body that's vulnerable, not his head. So just as long as you make sure that the body is in a safe spot, you should be good to go. Except this guy didn't lock onto one of the eyeballs, he logged onto the big eyeball himself. Finally unlocking Jetpack for the first time, he should be alright. Check out this insane Pop Fizz skip. No puzzle for me. And then Pop Fizz can't quite run away in time. I really thought he could make that. Yet another example of enemies targeting not me, which is always nice. Except this death is pretty lame. I walked right into that guy. And this one is even lamer. Finally, a good character to get unlocked. These Trog Wanderers are super easy if you're able to stay up top. I missed this dodge, but I hid in the secret room to avoid getting hit by the barrel. Now I just gotta walk up this pathway, and how did I take damage? Giants are immune to those. Well, Chill is very good, and all of her moves really complement each other. She can flood the screen with javelins and duplicate them even more with the ice walls, which can stop enemy movement as well. You can see me making great use of that here. One quick enemy room later, which honestly was not very difficult with the water elemental boost, and level 15 is complete. The enemies in this level are quite a bit less threatening than you might expect. There's just Archean Duelists and the Bombers, which give you attacks for the other enemies. And the final character of this game is unlocked, Flashwing, another fantastic character. There are a few enemies in this level, but most of the level is actually just traps. So after not very long, we were able to head into the final boss with 10 characters alive. Hothead, Crusher, Bouncer, Swarm, Whamshell, Dynarang, Chill, Jetvac, Shroomboom, and Flashwing. I decided to pick Hothead here because he has a lot of high power and can hit several enemies at once, including all of the Chaos summons, but I do get trapped. I decided to send in my ranged character. Hopefully, if I can take them out from over here, they won't be able to reach me. Jetvac kinda gets scammed here. That should not have hit him in my opinion. And the boss was on 1 HP until the next phase, so he totally could have lived. This section with the conduit is pretty easy to dodge. And Chaos gives you plenty of time to attack here. Swarm, thankfully, is fast enough to make sure the shield Juggernaut can't hit him. It's easy enough to push those smaller enemies off the edge, so there's not much left to deal with. And then, once he starts summoning his eye lasers, those are pretty slow, so they do increase the tension, but they're actually not too bad to dodge. As long as everything is not going at once, then it should be manageable. Once I get through all that, I can get a lot of damage in for free, considering there's no more enemies to actually try and stop me. After another wave of enemies joins the battle, I do get overwhelmed and Swarm is taken out. Chill's up next, and she hasn't let me down yet, so we'll see how far she can go. Even with all these enemies, she's still very easily able to hold her own, and take the boss to the next phase.
They need her, come to think. Oh, I see. Now, Skylander, attack his head.
After getting some free damage, there is a very close call where Chill almost gets hit by an enemy, and then is able to push him away with an attack right before he swings. Compared to the final boss from the first game, I think this one is significantly easier to beat. There were a lot more difficult dodging sections in the first game, but this one it's mostly just a few enemies. I decide for the most part to ignore Conduit number 2 in favor of just attacking the Archean Fist. I figured it would be faster because I can take him out and the entire boss fight ends, rather than focusing all my efforts on the Conduit and then having to fight Chaos after. I don't think it's too much more difficult to just dodge the few projectiles it has. And sure enough, after a while, he's defeated.